Good
afternoon, good evening, or good morning, wherever you are tuning in from today. It is a stormy, rainy, heavy raining day here outside my window in Trenton, New Jersey. What's it looking like outside your window where you are? Today, we're going to be talking about health and fighting diseases. There's a difference between walking in good health or maintaining good health and fighting diseases. Some people think that fighting diseases is good health, but the mere fact that you're fighting diseases says that you were not in health or in good health to start with. But today we have an expert who is going to share with us on the difference so that we can live in optimal health. God said he wants us to prosper, even as our soul prospers. Our soul is prospering, we must prosper in health as well. We cannot be healthy if our soul is prosperous and healthy. We can't have a sick body, because now we're not prospering because we're taking all of our finances to fight diseases with medication, with doctor appointments, with all these other kind of things. So we're going to talk today about the difference between fighting diseases and remaining in optimal health. I am your host, your co-host, Ambassador Lisa Parks, and welcome to Africa Online TV. Now, if you're tuning in on Facebook, you don't even have to worry about it today, because we just want you to join in and have a good time today. We want to welcome our host. We want to welcome Reverend Pam. It's good to see you. And I'm going to turn it over right now in the hands of our assistant, my co-host, Nia-san. Take it away, my brother.
Greetings from my own end. We are having an unstable situation. So if you don't see me at one point, maybe you only hear my voice, because I see my internet or my Zoom keeps zooming me in and out. All the same, thank you for the introduction and welcome to the show on this 25th day of September 2022. Yes, it is September 25. That is 268 days have gone by since 2022 came our way. That is according to the Gregorian calendar. What does that mean? It means that we have 97 days left until the end of the year. 365 days running very quickly at us. September 25, 2022 is the 39th day of 2022, and it is on the 40th week of the year, according to the American number calculation. It is the 4th day of fall, Reverend Pam. It is the 4th.
Did we lose him? Yes, he's back. I don't see him. Okay, I see him, but he's muted. Nia-san, you are muted.
It is the system. It knocks me out and I don't get connected when I come back. Okay, and let's see. Let's see if this will work better. September 25, therefore, is the 39th day of the, well, I've lost trend. Let me get back to where I was. It is the 4th day of fall, meaning that there are 87 days till winter. Of the 20 or so holidays and observances we found for September 25, we retained the following. It is Daughter's Day today. Daughter's Day usually celebrated on the 4th Sunday in September. It is International Day of the Deaf, usually celebrated on the last Sunday in September. It is National Psychotherapy Day, usually celebrated today, September 25. It is National Research Administrators Day. So researchers, please, it is your day. Get to work and do us some good by researching all those things that bother our lives. It is also Priesthood Sunday, usually celebrated on the last Sunday.
I think this show is gonna be amazing with all these challenges or technical difficulties today.
I have to. Okay, there we go. So after all those days that I just mentioned, I hope you got them. On a personal note, September 25 to me personally, if I can repeat myself, that day was a Saturday. That is back in, listen to this, 1965. That is the day I answered present in St. Joseph's College, Sase. That is a college in Buea near the Buea Mountain in Cameroon, the country in which I was born. So Sase College was the place I attended secondary school back in those days. I hope I'm coming through. One of the things that I learned from Sase College was to promote my health, to seek to be healthy. We were on the mountainside, we were always doing sports, we were always playing, and we were always healthy. That is something to applaud myself for. So today on Africa Online Media Corporation, we are zeroing in on something, health. Is it your health or my health or our health? It is all of the above. So how much do we take care of our health, or how much have we had to fight disease? Hence, stay healthy and make some savings. American Emmanuel James, also known as Jim Rohn. He's an entrepreneur, or he was an entrepreneur, author, and motivational speaker. He advises us to take care of our body because it's the only place we have to live. And I hurry to add that learning is as much
Oh, okay. Looks like, oh, there he is. He's back.
well, we keep being knocked off and knocked in, all the same. So how do you fight for your health? How do you stay healthy? What do you do to make sure that you stay healthy? So I hear, when I was growing up, I used to hear that prevention is better than cure. So have you been preventing? Have you been doing anything to prevent being sick? Or when you are sick, do you go to grandma and say, oh, grandma, give me that your homemade remedy you made some years ago, you recommended last time, and I got well? Well, that is not actually what we're here for. We are here to raise awareness about fighting disease, about staying healthy. And we have a guest who will be introduced to us by the chair of Africa Online Media Corporation, Reverend Pam. I know you are on the move, but please find a seat and introduce us to the show and to our guest. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Nia Song. And sorry about the challenge. We are all having technical difficulties. It took me some time to even get Wi-Fi. I'm in like a country area. So Dr. Ellison, we normally don't go through this, but I believe that is going to be a fantastic show. That's why our main anchor is even having this kind of challenges. He's never had this before. And the co-anchor herself is not home either. But I want to welcome all our viewers, our team members, and especially you, Dr. Ellison, for graciously accepting to come and share your brain power here, your intellect, your expertise, your experience for free with our viewers and listeners. Thousands of people are going to watch this program. And I'm recording it because for some reason it's not giving me the option to stream live on Facebook on my phone. However, I can assure you it will be on Facebook and it will be on YouTube. So Dr. Ellison, I don't want to discount your qualification by trying to introduce you. The only thing I'm going to say is that you are one of our panelists for our Africa's Brain Bank Summit and Charity Board coming up October the 8th. You will be speaking at that academic symposium. But I want you to take a moment and introduce yourself to our viewers. Like I mentioned to you, this show is unscripted. So there's no telling what this former professor of journalism will ask you or his co-anchor. So over to you, Dr. Ellison. You are warmly welcome to Africa Online Media Corporation.
Well, thank you, Reverend Pam, and good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you're at. I'm excited to be with you to share this most passionate area. Just a little bit about myself. My girlfriend and I, of 40 years, this November the 19th, 7:30 p.m. We've been married 40 years. We moved from North Carolina. All right, thank you. We moved from North Carolina going on 7 years ago here to Stone Mountain, Georgia. We pastored together for 20 years in North Carolina, and it was there while pastoring, or just before pastoring, I got the assignment from headquarters.
Yes.
As far as this particular area is concerned. And so I've been in this particular area of study, chasing the rabbit of information, as I would say, for the last 30 years. Learned a whole lot, still learning, still a student of this particular area, because as it's already been alluded to, our number one wealth is our health. And I'm praying that everybody who's tuning in, you got a piece of paper, pencil, or what have you, grab a hold to stuff that's going to be shared. I learned something some years ago. An instructor for a day, a teacher for a lifetime. So I'm going to share some stuff with you in this hour and so that we have together, that's going to be some instructions that if you'll pay attention to it, embrace it, and put it into practice, it will become a teacher for a lifetime to help you protect your number one wealth. It's not your career. It's not your marriage. I love my marriage. I love my girlfriend, wife. She tells me, Prophetess Lisa, she said, make sure you tell the folk that I'm your wife. You just can't leave it with I'm your girlfriend, because they're gonna think that you've been dating me for 40 years.
I'm gonna find that as a problem.
That's a problem.
40 years, that's right.
Exactly. And so she said, make sure you give them the other side that I am your wife, though you call me your girlfriend. All right. So anyway, that's just a little introduction. I'm extremely excited about it. And I'm just ready to roll with it.
Dr. Ellison, thank you so much. 40 years is a generation. And a lot of people cannot even stay married for 40 days or even 4 days. And you have been on it. And for you to be calling your wife your girlfriend, I think you're going to be on it. You're going to be in it until Jesus comes. So congratulations, my brother. And I hope our brothers who are listening, especially those who are married, they know they are married for life. There's no turning back. They're at the point of no return. So thank you so much, Dr. Ellison. That was a brief introduction. So I'm going to hand it over to our main anchor and the co-anchors, and they'll take it from there. Again, this show is unscripted. And Dr. Ellison, I see Dr. Kanko is on, who is the director of our academics. So I am really excited about this show, and I'll be listening. I'm going to go ahead and, Dr. Ellison, guess where I am right now? I'm actually in Stone Mountain.
What?
Yes, I'm in Stone Mountain right now.
Wow.
All right, so I'm going to hand it over to the anchor. Yeah, I'm in your backyard, yes. Over to you, Niaso.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ellison, for that introduction. I'm excited. I'm ready to learn. As we said earlier, we are having some technical difficulties, so we bear with us.
Dr. Ellison, it's unfortunate that we're having this. We never had this before, but since you opened on that note of having a lifetime partner who has been your buddy for the past 40 years, let me just disclose that it was December 31st, 1975. I don't know how many years that has been, that I got my lifetime partner, who has been the foundation of my family of now 13 people. That is 5 children, 6 grandchildren, plus you and I. So please, that is that. But talking.
Did he say 1975?
It sounds like 47 years.
47 years. Yeah, he got you beat a little bit, Dr. Ellison.
He's got me beat. I've got to catch up with him.
I'm telling you, I'm excited to hear men say that they've been married that long. And it's usually the women, even though Nia Sung doesn't know how many years she's been married. But I'm excited to hear from men who are still in love with their wives.
My math has always been faulty. I've never been good in math, so I even failed it at my first exam. All the same.
So,
Dr.
Liaison,
Ellison,
we got a
I
question?
understand.
Now, I determined that I was not going to be the one who it was said about he doesn't remember anniversaries and birthdays.
Wonderful.
And I made this statement, my brother, and here's the statement that I made. If you want to remember your wife's birthday or your wedding anniversary, the best way to do it, the best way is to forget it one time.
I'm really sorry that we're having this. Yes. You
I
see,
think she would never
I'm
let
a
it
history
go.
major.
You'll never
so
let it go.
I'm a history major, not a math major. So please forgive me for that. And let's continue, because I think the faster we get into it, the better maybe the internet will start behaving. So
Yeah.
Dr. Ellison, I understand that your passion, or one of your passions, is helping people live healthy lives.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So tell us. Okay, let's start with the basics. Here we are. We've messed up. You know, we got health challenges.
My question was to Dr. Ellison, what motivated you to get into helping people to live healthy lives?
Oh, I love that. I love that. Years ago, I worked in the prison system, and a good apostle friend of mine one day gave me a book entitled Why Christians Get Sick. I took that book and it seemed like I divided every single word in that book. That book became like my, if you would, my burning bush experience. It set my heart aflame. And I started chasing the information concerning health and wellness. And one day I ended up going into this health food store, and this lady had a degree on the back wall entitled naturopathic doctor. I'm like, what is that? I never even heard of it. Well, I had already purchased over $400 worth of books before then. And so chasing the hunger that that book stirred up in me, I go into this health food store. She introduces me to naturopathy. So I got in it, went through the program, got a doctorate degree, and guess what happened? My hunger intensified. So I got the degree and went and got into a nutritional certification program, and guess what happened? My hunger intensified. I'm like, wait a minute, what is going on here? It's like I'm chasing this rabbit, and this rabbit is leading me from one dimension of information to another. And before I knew it, I was literally consumed with this thing on health. And when a person dies, even up to this point, I want to know why. Unless they were, killed by in a homicide or suicide or, some things of that particular nature. If they are dying of a chronic disease, I want to know why. If they're dying, we got statistics that I read something in Southern California some years ago, and I'll stop so we can go to another point, that said that young people who were dying in gang wars between the ages of 18 and 22, at the time they did the autopsy of those young folks, they found out they already had heart disease. How do you have heart disease between 18 and 22 years of age? So I've been chasing that. That's how I got started. And I've been chasing it ever since and putting into practice everything I can learn. So up to this particular day, and we'll go to the next point. Prophetess Lisa, I'm gonna point at you a little bit. The young folks are really tripping as to how this guy over 60 years of age is doing over 300 push-ups a day, 175 in 2 minutes.
What?
In 2 minutes, I start my day off with 175 in 2 minutes, and within 5 minutes, I've done the other 125.
Oh my God.
It's because I've learned something from our Creator about the body that He designed that must be operated according to His principles and His laws.
Well, you don't look your age at all. You could pass for a 40-year-old.
Well, I hear that all the time, but no,
And that's not a flatter. I don't flatter people.
no. No, I'm in my 60s actually, and I hear that quite often, but I contributed to striving to do the right thing and stick with the laws that govern this body.
What is one thing that we can do? Many of us are of a certain age, and while we do look good, we are struggling with some health challenges. We got some issues and things going on.
About to ask my second question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Right now, you're showing, you're showing that your mic is closed, that you're muted, but I can hear you.
Oh, me?
Yes, it was showing that your mic was muted. That's why I started talking, and now, but we could hear you. Go ahead with your second question.
Yeah, the second question was, what makes it for a man or a woman, for the human being to live long? Is it the food they eat, the kind of food they eat, or is it the faith they have in their God?
Wow, that's a great question. I like to go all the way back to the beginning. Yeah, it is both. But I want to start with that first one. And that is, I believe we've got to go back and get reconnected to God in this area. We're oftentimes, yes, we're connected to him through the salvation message. Sure, we got to have that. But after we get born again, we get the salvation message, we get reconnected to our Creator. We've got to get connected to his wisdom that governs the human body. Man was born into laws like fish were born into water. If you take the fish out of the water, it's not going to function. The longer it stays out, the sooner it's going to die. Man was born into the laws of the wisdom of our Creator that governs the physical health, as well as the spiritual, mental, relational, financial health. There are laws, and we are oftentimes ignorant of, not aware of these laws that govern good health. Eating is one part of it, but I've seen folk who did well in the eating, but then they were bad on those other laws of relationship and how I relate, because how I relate to my wife and to you has an effect on my health.
Yes.
So I don't like to leave. There are different laws, and maybe we'll cover some of that. So I would say it's both, but I would dare to say the number one reason for the perpetuation of things like arthritis, diabetes, cancer, and so forth, I would dare say that the number one reason is because we are prodigal children in the area of health. We've got to come back home to the Creator who designed, engineered, created the human body. We've got to come back home to his wisdom. And I was one of those prodigals. I mean, and the Lord got on me about that. He said, I'm going to straighten you out, help you to straighten yourself out before you are pushing this on other folks or teaching this to other folks.
Right.
So I believe that when we come back home from being prodigal children to the wisdom of God that governs the human body, a lot of these problems are gonna get up and go. But not as long as we are ignorant of, disobedient to, or lazy about these laws, these conditions will stay there. And I've seen people, they try to replace the laws that govern good health with prayer. And it doesn't work.
No, it does not.
We are not going to live off of a miracle every day to take care of our health. That's not the way he designed it. Does our Creator do miracles? Absolutely. Yes. But nobody is permitted to live off of a miracle every day. We have to live off of the three things that build everything. There are three things that build relationships, build health, you name it. And those three things, the wisest man who ever lived told us about what those three things were in Proverbs chapter 24. Knowledge, understanding, and the general contractor of all of this is wisdom.
Wow. That is,
Ambassador Lisa, yeah.
you know, I always tell people that prayer does not answer all things. Prayer is not the answer to all things. The scripture says money is the thing that answers all things, but prayer cannot help in the area, like Dr. Elson said, in the area of health. I mean, yes, you can pray, yes, you can get wisdom, but that is going to require that you change some habits. You got to change the way you eat. You can't continue to eat the way you eat and keep praying to God for healing, and you keep putting all these unhealthy things in your body.
No, that will lead you to an early grave.
Yeah, prayer don't answer that, okay? Prayer don't answer the fact that you need to get up off your butt and do some exercises. You can't sit there and wish that fat on your stomach away. I know Ruth is over there having a dag blasted conniption because she can't wait to have something to say, but we are speaking her language.
Oh, wow.
Not answer all things. Y'all let people know. Prayer does not answer all things. Money does. Some things you got to get off of being spiritual. I tell people, take that mask off, take off your spiritual mask, take off your title, take off all those other things, take off pride, and let's just be human and deal with the body as God created it. I can't wait to get into some of these laws. You said there were 3 things that help build health: knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. Those are 3 principles. Now let's talk about some of the laws that govern our health.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think Sister Ruth had a question.
Go ahead, Sister Ruth. I want this to be interactive because I can go off for an hour on just one law.
Yeah, I know. And I'm just sitting here like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for this show. I too, we will be married 40 years on November 1st. I mean,
Wow.
no, 39, I'm sorry. Next year will be 40 years. We're coming up on 39, but we've been together since 1975 when I was 3 years old, you know.
Oh,
Since she was 3 years old.
Oh my God.
Now, but health is your greatest wealth. And you can't see my t-shirt, but it says, eat like a cow.
Cow.
Eat like a cow.
Wow.
And people are like, what does that mean? I'm like, what do cows eat? Don't eat
Yes.
a cow, eat like one. But anyway,
Don't eat one, eat like one.
yeah, there you go. But I've been on this journey since my sister got ill, and we decided to use nutrition as a way to heal her body because the drugs were worse than the disease.
That's right.
And that's how we got on this journey of better health. And I have now started to declare that my family, my friends hear me when I'm talking about their health. I no longer say people don't want to hear what I got to say. I now say they hear me when I speak. And when you talk about God's wisdom, people say, that, I know it's in Psalm somewhere, he sent his word and healed them of all disease and delivered them from all destruction. He sent his word. He sent his instructions. What were the instructions so that your body could get where it needs to get to? And we, like Lisa said, we all spiritualize and stuff, but honey child, fried chicken, mac and cheese, asking the Lord to bless it doesn't make it all right.
Well, one of the ways to cut off about 25 years of your life on a consistent basis with it is to eat fried foods. One of the sure ways to cut years off of your life. I used to do it. Now, I gotta admit, I was a prodigal like most everybody else, but I had to get the wisdom of his word that he sent to me so I could have a healthy temple. So, and then, now getting into one of these laws, what is healthy eating? Because if we go back to the garden shows us these laws that were there. Law number 1, well, let's say the law of what I put in my system. He told us what to eat. The vehicle that you drive or the appliances that you have in your home, they come with an instruction manual.
Yes.
See, why? Because somebody designed that product. And you dare not take the wisdom of a bicycle company and try to apply it to your car.
Right.
You dare not do that. But we've been doing that with a body that God created using another wisdom. This is why we have some of the problems that we have. He told us what to put in it. So when you are eating something that comes in a box, a can, a package, or if it simply has a label on it, and you just picking that item up, bringing it home, didn't take the time to read the label to see what is in it, you are asking for problems. Sooner than later nowadays, particularly when you're bringing so many items in, and the labels say it, synthetic, artificial. That's just telling us.
Genetically modified.
Genetic, oh, leave that alone now. Leave that alone. We're going there. Genetically what? You mean to tell me that daddy was not intelligent enough to make the item right the first time around to where he needed us to tamper with it and change its genetic makeup? Thinking that the genetic makeup of that thing that goes in there is not gonna affect our genetic makeup?
Exactly.
Now, here's a rule, prophetess, that I share in Sister Ruth. If the chemical makeup of what you put in the body or on the body doesn't match the chemical makeup of the body, sooner or later, you're gonna have problems.
There's gonna be a change.
The chemical makeup, the body is nothing. The body in one sense is a chemical factory. The foods that you put in are chemicals.
Yes.
They have intelligence.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
Information in them. Sister Ruth, if I don't have an amen corner anywhere else, I can tell that she is.
She your number one cheerleader tonight.
My number. That food has information while it's in it. And so if the genetic makeup of that food item has been tampered with, so we have now a GMO putting it inside of a God-made body. You got two pieces of wisdom clashing. And we wonder why the cancer, the heart disease, the neurological brain problems. We got a clash of information. This is why I'm going back to my original statement. The number one cause, I believe, from over 30 years of research, because of the perpetuation of stuff. And now check this out. I'm not talking about the car accident, you know, the bombing, the shooting. I'm talking about where we have created a hospitable environment for something to develop, because sickness and disease doesn't strike you like a rattlesnake. It's developed over a period of time.
Yes.
Now, if that's not true, then evidently last night, if there were 100 babies born in the hospital near you, then evidently 75% already has diabetes.
Wow.
50% already has cancer. You know that that's not the truth. Oh, and by the way, since I'm on that note, I don't know about some of you all's country, but Prophetess Lisa, here in our country, I don't know of a hospital that's hurting for business.
Nope.
No.
Nope. Not at all. University of Pennsylvania just built a gigantic children's cancer, a whole entire network of hospital for children's cancer.
Oh my God.
Waiting on you to come with your problems and your sicknesses and your babies, and they're going to make money.
See, if I don't take care of my health, I'm going to give my body to somebody else to make money off of me.
Yep. Wow.
Wow.
We're doing too much. It's needed in different cases. We're doing too much outsourcing our health. We've got to come back home to the manufacturer's wisdom about how to take care of what we say oftentimes in the church.
Yes.
And oftentimes we're lying. Oh, my body is the temple of God.
Oh, Lord.
Really?
Really? Right.
You mean we got people who treat their vehicles better than what they do their bodies?
That's true.
Yeah, people are very careful to make sure they put the right kind of gas and oil in the vehicle and will pick up some of anything and stick it in their mouths as an
Wow.
adult. Not
As
talking
an
about
adult.
children. Now, you know, we would tap our children on the hand if they picked up something off the floor, you know, to eat it. You know how we would do that stuff. And I found out we got to tap ourselves on the hand and ask ourselves a question. What am I eating? See, I talk to my food. Oh yeah, I talk to it. Jesus talked to trees. He talked to nature. I talk to my food. I will ask that food item, what are you going to do if I let you eat? Talk to me. I'm like, come on, food, talk to me. What are you going to make me sleepy 20 minutes after I've eaten you? Are you going to make me tired 45 minutes after I've consumed you? How would you like it if you just left the gas pump, having put gas in your vehicle, and you get a mile down the road and the vehicle just kind of dies down? And if it could talk, you would ask the vehicle, like, well, what are you doing? I'm just tired. But I just fed you gasoline. What do you mean you're tired? I don't know what you gave me, but it made me sleepy. It made me tired. In Hitler's day, there were two dominant ways that he killed those people. One of them was starving them to death, and another way was poisoning them to death. He had other ways too. The Lord spoke to me one day, Ruth. He said, many people are poisoning themselves and starving themselves with the same food item. It looks like a tomato, somewhat feels like a tomato, but is it really a tomato?
Tomato.
Or let's go to, let's say, the watermelon or the grapefruit. Now, my instruction manual let me know that we are to eat things that can reproduce themselves.
That's right. That's right.
So when we are picking up items and bringing them home and consuming them that have no seed in them, problem. So first law is I need to watch what I let in the house. Because my food is either going to be my medicine or poison. All right, next question, because I could go off.
This is hitting close to home.
Yes, this is very good. We need to know what these laws are.
All right.
Because I gotta find that scripture that says everything that produces after its own kind has seed in itself. And I was one day looking at the fruit stand. I was asking the person for grapes with seeds, and the lady, she says, "Well, why do you need grapes with seeds? Do they taste better?" I said, "No, it's real fruit." She said, "What do you mean it's real fruit?" I said, "The scripture says everything that produces after its own kind got seed in it." I said, "This is a seedless grape. How does it produce? It has no seed. So how is it producing?" She was like, "Oh my God, I never even thought about that."
You know what?
I'm on the hunt all the time for real fruit.
I just ate some seedless grapes just before the beginning of this show.
So you just had some chemicals.
You know why she didn't think about it? Let me tell you why. This is another dimension of this area that's got to be covered, because she's been bamboozled. She's been dumbed down. She's been sedated to the reality of what's happening. And therein lies one of the reasons why we see things keep perpetuating, because we literally have been bamboozled, sedated, put to sleep. Many people in America, they don't eat what they want. They eat what's been advertised.
True.
We have to consider that. Because if I keep showing you chips, chips, chips,
Chips.
you're going to think chips, chips, chips. You're not going to think nuts. You know, with the fiber and the oils and the minerals and the vitamins. You're not going to think that. So we tend to purchase what is constantly advertised. Since we're on that note, since I feel somebody getting ready to ask me about going deeper with that, your body is made up, going into another law, the law of liquids, water. Your body is made up of 2/3 water, not 2/3 soda. Or 2/3 sweetened tea in particular. Now, I read something some years ago that a soda is like diabetes in a can. Do you know it takes around 13 glasses of water to bring the body back into alkalinity after one 10-ounce soda? No, I'm sorry, 32 glasses of water, 8-ounce glasses of water. Because that soda, and it doesn't just have the refined sugar in it.
Okay.
That just throws the homeostatic state of the body off to where we have to flush it with a lot of water. All right, that was the second law. So, and then while I'm talking about the importance of the water intake, every time you talk, every time you urinate, every time you feces, sweat, sing, and other ways too, you're utilizing water. The earth is 2/3 water, I believe, coming from the pattern of how the body was designed, 2/3 water. So when we utilize the water and don't replace it, now we're setting ourselves up for dehydration.
Hydration.
That sets us up long-term for other problems.
Organ failure.
Author, cancer, headaches, and you name it. All right, I'm gonna pause for questions.
Sure. I have really been disappointed by the internet because the Zoom is on and off, and I really don't follow everything to the last period. Anyway,
it's been
Sister,
recorded. It's been recorded. So
yeah, okay, Sister Deborah, I was turning to you at this time. Have your say, please.
Hello, everyone. This is a very good topic. We do need to really take care of what we put in our bodies. We have to read the labels, especially nowadays when they're adding so many chemicals and other stuff into the foods. Even with the fresh produce, we have to be careful because they're spraying them and you get the poisons on them, which soaks into the food and you don't wash it off. You think you're washing it off, but it's still residual on there. So we really have to be careful of what we're putting into our bodies. And I started my journey a couple of years ago, and I feel so much different than I did beforehand. And I'm taking notice more and more of what I eat and what I should eat.
And your body records what you're doing right for it. Because there's a law that says I reap
what I saw.
what I sow.
Yes.
So if I don't sow good foods,
Right,
I don't
right.
sow water, and I can't reap what our Creator intended as far as good health is concerned.
Amen.
See, I have to address the, I like to approach this from the biblical, philosophical,
Yes.
instructional, and educational viewpoints. Because a lot of people's health is locked up in what they've been taught. And then there's another group whose health is on hold because of what they have not been taught, what they don't know. That leads me to another quote I want to make. Good health makes a lot of sense. It doesn't make a lot of dollars. Did you get that, Sister Ruth?
Yes.
I'm calling everybody out, Yvette.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to see Kim and her husband, James, on as well. Good health makes sense, but good health doesn't make dollars.
Of
No.
course.
Mhm.
If I'm not
That
going to
being
take
said,
care,
well,
if I'm not going to take
yeah,
care
go
of
ahead, go
myself,
ahead,
I'm
go
going to
ahead.
fatten somebody's pocketbook.
That being said, remember that when you are sick, you are not working. You are spending the money that is not coming in anymore. So I want to turn my attention to Sister Philomena. I don't see the full name. So if
Yeah,
she's there,
that's
please.
Dr. Gwanfobe. She
Okay,
got talked
Dr.
to
Balfobe,
nutrition
unmute
before.
and have your say in the discussion. Or maybe she's been knocked out by the in and out Zoom.
Mhm.
If not so, I see Dr. Ogoji is in the house. Please unmute and join the conversation and have your say. We'll come back to Ms. Gwanfobe after. Dr. Ogoji.
Dr. Ogoji.
Hello.
Hello.
So, yeah. Well,
What happened to your heart?
Yes, that's why I was trying to figure out what was different. You don't have a hat on.
I'm shut off my bald head because I'll be 50 years very soon.
Okay.
What sign of wealth and knowledge?
Okay. So my stake here is that our health depends on we. We take care of our health. Nobody can take care of our health.
Mhm.
Even the best physician in the world leave the buck to you. The buck ends with you. I'm your coach. You do this, you do it, you feel better. So my take is that if we eat the right food, drink enough water, exercise adequately, and eat the right amount, the right type of food, the right amount of food, we're gonna stay healthy as long as possible. So the difference between somebody getting diabetes and hypertension and high cholesterol at the age of 50 versus the age of 80 or 70 or 30 depends on one, genetics, we know that, and most important, what you put in your mouth.
Yes.
I tell my diabetic patients, look, if I give you all the medications and you don't change your diet,
Mm.
look, you're not gonna get better.
Nope.
However, if you change your diet, if I'm giving you 3 or 4 medications, you end up needing just 1 or 2 or none at all. So what that means, if you need 4 medications for diabetes and you just eat whatever you want to eat, you're gonna need 6 and big quantity. If you make one step, just say, I tell one patient, no. Sometimes we send people to dietitian to get a good dietary history. One of my patients takes a slice of bread every night before she goes to bed. Just a toast every night at 10 p.m.
Mm.
Stopping that slice of bread every night, she dropped 20 pounds within 6 months.
Wow.
And then her diabetes got better, that she was taking 3 or 4 medications, it dropped down to 1 or 2. So healthcare, you are the coach, you take care of your body. Then when you have problem, you come to the doctor, will guide you, and most physicians will tell you, you know what, look at your diet, what is it that you can give up? Is it the kind of soda you drink every day? If you drink one soda every day, you have diabetes, trust me, don't drink soda anymore, you don't need medication. So, of course, on the cover is that difference between medication do help, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
That's why I would say, I like saying this all the time, that the average life expectancy in Africa, Nigeria is about 57, 60 years. Cameroon about 17. America, Finland, Europe, 70, 80 years. Why? Between the age of 50 and 60, our body get tired that we develop the high blood pressure, the high cholesterol, and things like that. And we in Africa don't believe in medication, which I don't blame them, but again, sometimes we do need it. So if you have that high blood pressure that you need to take just one pill, you don't take it, it goes high and high and high, you have a stroke, you die by 60. Well, if you live in a country like America, they find a high blood pressure early, they give you medication, you take it, it prevents heart attack, prevents stroke, and you live longer. When I make this argument, people say, well, my grandfather lived 101 years. That's true. My grandfather was 105 when he died. But I tell them, go to a community in Africa and look at a population of 100 people. In America, 75 of them, let me say, yeah, about over 75 of them over 60 years. In Africa, it was about 25. When we go to 80, it's only 1 or 2% compared to 20-25% in other countries over 70 years. So they do help. But the key is the biggest challenge in our health is what we eat. What do we eat to make us get better with or without medication? Some people need medication to feel better. Let those who need it take it. And I don't want to discourage people from taking medication because it do help. That's why people live longer when they take care of their chronic medical condition. But again, you're going to take 1 pill or 5 pills or none at all, depending on your health. Personally, I tried to get a health insurance about 6-7 years ago. I tried to buy a health insurance for life policy. My blood sugar was then 102, 103, was a bit higher than 100. They said, well, your policy will jump from $200 a month to about $300 a month because of that.
Right.
And I said, well, I don't want it. I stopped. I look at my diet, change certain things. My blood sugar dropped down to less than 100. I got $100 discount for my life insurance. So diet works. Personally, I developed carpal tunnel syndrome from typing. It's what is this? I went to the doctor, said I have carpal tunnel syndrome. They did all the tests in the whole world. They didn't find anything, but I knew something is wrong. And I did a couple of things. I lost weight. I stopped banging my hand. I took out the arms of my chair. When I bang my arms here, it causes numbness. And I started doing handstand. Handstand means that you stand on my hand, that way you extend your wrist. In this area of the body, the wrist has a C-shaped cup and a ligament here. In carpal tunnel syndrome, all the things are trying to go through this cup and the ligament. So when I do like this, I open that C wider, and it's not went away. So I'm a little example that exercise, diet is what you need most of the time. But with time, if you need medication, please do not run away from it. But taking medication depends, are you going to take 1 pill or 5 pills? Are you going to take 10 milligram or 40 milligram, or else go with your diet? So health is wealth. And they're saying that if you eat your food, so they said, eat your food like medicine, otherwise you're going to eat medicine like food.
Wow. Eat your food like medicine. Is that what you said? Eat your food like?
Yes, eat your food like medicine, otherwise you're going to eat medicine like food.
Like food.
Wow.
We lost
Powerful
your
statement.
camera. Dr. Ogoji, we lost your camera.
Okay.
Your camera is off.
Okay, back, yeah. So I said, eat your food like medicine, otherwise you're going to eat medicine like food.
Yes.
I like that. That's powerful, Doc.
I like that too.
And I give you, I'm thumbs up with everything you just said.
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ellison.
Right
Brother Ronald, do you have something to say before Dr. Ellison goes ahead?
Yeah, I'd like to thank both Dr. Ellison and Dr. Ogoji for the information about medicine and food and nutrition. I try to eat right each and every day. I drink plenty of water. And with the additional information about the soda versus water, it really helps me out a lot. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and so we also have one of Dr. Ellison's protege, Kim, on the line, so we need to hear from her.
If she can unmute and go ahead, please.
Yeah, it says first priority insurance.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to go that direction. Please, priority, unmute and have your say.
Muted.
Okay.
Muted.
All right. Okay. Well, first off, right, I mean, as far as, it's just an honor and a pleasure to be, here on this call and listening to this valuable, information. And, what I really truly want to speak to is truly to Dr. Ellison, and just, You know, like he is so appropriate for this particular conversation because you just never ever know where your help is going to come from. And although you may be physically well, but sometimes you can have mental challenges that other people can't see. But sometimes it takes for someone with a spiritual eye to be able to look to see what it is that you need. And the reason why I wanted to speak to that is because whenever I met Dr. Ellison, you know, like we as women, we try so hard to keep it all together and then to hold it all together and then to be strong. But he met me whenever I was in the middle of a storm. When I say I was in the middle of a storm, I was in the middle of a storm. There were so many things coming at me, but I was still trying to be strong. And he just asked me if I was okay. And I wasn't okay at that time. And I just broke down crying. And I hadn't cried in front of my husband or in front of my business partners or in front of my girlfriends, but it was just something about Dr. Ellison and his nature and his disposition that made me feel as if I was in a safe space. And he just prayed for me. And mind you, right, like where there was no, you know, reason for him to stop and take time out of his day, but he literally stayed on the phone with me for an hour and just prayed for me. And he continued to reach out to me just simply to make sure that I was okay. And so, and I just simply wanted to share that with you because it's one thing, right, to, you know, hear about his business acumen and then what he's done as far as with being a medical professional, but to really know the core and the heart of the man that's on the phone, like that just means something different. And just in this year that I have met him, I never ever could have imagined how my life would have blossomed just since I met him. Because mind you, I met him whenever I was falling apart. And just slowly but surely, piece by piece, day by day, he helped to pray me back to health. He helped to mentor me in the steps that I should take. And I'm so grateful and so thankful to the content of who he is. And so I just simply wanted to share that because, you know, we have to be cognizant of our mental health also, because we can be a storm in our own head and not really know which direction to turn. But whenever someone just extends their hand for no reason at all, that just meant something special and something different. And so I just wanted you to know that you not only had a powerful man of medicine on the phone, you had a powerful man of God on this phone as well. So I just wanted to thank you, Reverend Pam, for giving me the opportunity to speak the content of Dr. Calvin Ellison's character, because it's an honor and a pleasure to be on the phone with him. And it's an honor and a pleasure to be on the phone with all of you. Be blessed, family.
I'd like to say something to what Kim just
Sure. Go ahead. Go right ahead.
that is so critically important. I oftentimes talk about constipation. And it's not just something at the physical level, because we are a three-part being: spirit, mind, you know, made up of emotions, will, you know, intellect and all that stuff. We can be clogged at the spiritual and the mental, emotional level that spills over into the physical. And it starts with, you know, prolonged frustration. If I'm not dealing with those frustrations or those stresses, and that they are there prolonged in particular, then they'll tend to spill over into the physical body. It didn't happen with Kim, but how many people has that happened to? That the root of the problem really wasn't physical. It was something mental. And years ago, I found out where doctors were even saying that a lot of them, the doctors up here maybe could even verify that a lot of the conditions that the people that were coming into the hospital about was not physical. We found out it was something emotional. So to make sure we stay clean physically, you know, through how we take care of our body, exercise, food, water, and all that stuff, but then emotionally. And that has a lot to do with my ability to relate with other folk, that support group around me, where I can share stuff that if I didn't, it would just clog me up, so to speak, you know? And so being free to express my why, my purpose, is critically important, and making sure that my emotions don't get clogged up. Now, Now we know about that, those of us that have been married for any particular time, they are the importance of that, because if you ever get clogged up emotionally, now the relationship is disturbed. You know, we all gonna have certain things we have to deal with all the time because we're growing, but I'm talking about when things get clogged. And that's some of what Kim was describing there. There was an unclogging of the holes, so to speak, to where, and she's going on to, I hear her talk to them like she needs to be set before thousands of the freedom that she had from something that was clogged in her life. But my point is, how many people are there? It's not physical. It's probably emotional.
Okay, Dr. Ellison, hold your peace for now. Just take a sip of water. When we come back, I personally would want for you to share one of your books with us and tell us the one that we should read going forward. Well, after the anthem.
Yes, this is our national anthem, Africa Online's national anthem. It was owned, operated, we own all rights to it. It was written by our very own CEO, Reverend Pam, and composed by our DJ Skipper, and we want you to be blessed. As Nia-Sung said, grab a drink of water, get your breath as we share our anthem.
Africans, Africans for Africa. 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 Africans have many bright ideas. If only you let us share. If you really want to know my history, please come, sit down, listen to my story. God gave us a wisdom. He guides our footsteps, makes us shine and transform. Hey, as one people with so many cultures, yet indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us all unite behind Africa Online Media Corporation. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. It's time to come together, promote awareness, progress, and solution. Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. All Africans can rally for a common cause, to believe without judgment in what our brother does. To identify and resolve our challenges, to allow each other's ideas without regard to standards. As one people with so many cultures, yes indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Let us solve all the problems plaguing our continent. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us empower Africans in and out of Africa. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Africa Online Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. They have all the resources we need to benefit our society. Oh. education for everyone if we believe. Prosperity for Africans if we believe. Medical facilitation for Africans if we believe. Stand up, Africa, yes, for Africa. Africa Online Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Africa is the cradle of civilization, the motherland. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. We were enslaved not because we were weak, but because of our hospitality. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Jump on the Africa Online Miracle Jet. Don't be left behind. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Together we shall succeed. Together we will win. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. We are writing our own story, the truth, and we shall tell it to the world. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. No more lies, Africans own Africa.
No more lies, Africans own Africa. Ambassador Lisa, thank you so much for playing that the anthem. I think going forward you will be playing the anthem. I don't need to do that anymore. You know, yes, I'm going to announce the topic, but I want to ask. I have a question for Dr. Ellison, not about our health, but I want to announce the topic first. Ambassador Lisa, you go after Nelson. I have a quick question for Dr. Ellison, but we're going to spend some time to talk about the event also. So next week, we're going to be discussing an acronym that I came up with. It's called STEW. It's not the African stew and it's not the American stew. It's S period, T period, E period, W period. The W stands for water. So, and the S stands for social media. T stands for telecommunication and transportation, E for energy and electricity, and W for water. This acronym, it just sums up the problems that we have on the continent. Where now, let's just say the problems that people of African descent have, because even in this country, our people have problems with water, like in Flint, Michigan, and now Jackson, Mississippi. So so next week, we are going to start with water first, not social media, but water. And I'm hoping one of our panelists will be here to talk about water. But we'll also spend some time with the updates on the ribbon cutting and the next borehole, which will be in Kenya. And Ambassador Lisa, I'm glad you're coming because we're also going to raise money for the borehole during this event. Our primary, we are raising funds for STEM education for girls and also for sinking the boreholes. So these are the two things we are raising money for. So Ambassador Lisa, I'll hand over to you, but Nia, so after you, I have a quick question for Dr. Ellis, and I'll go back on mute.
Thank you so much, Reverend Pam. She was just saying, you know, Africa Online Media Corporation has an ongoing fundraiser. We call it Operation Borehole 55. It is our desire to see a borehole put in every country on the continent where there is a government-approved medical facility that has no running water. Dr. Ellison, have you ever heard of anything so asinine? You have a medical clinic. It is approved by the government and there is no running water for these people to clean up behind each patient. You having baby after baby on a table that has not been cleaned with sanitized because there is no water. We just think that it's so ungodly, and we're doing our part to see change come to that area. As Reverend Pam said, our first borehole is up, it is running. It was placed in Sierra Leone. It is not only being beneficial to the clinic itself, there's a tap that runs to the community, and 6,000 families are benefiting from the borehole. That's almost 30,000 people.
You got it.
who are benefiting from the borehole that was placed in Sierra Leone. And our next country we have selected is Kenya. So we need to begin to raise some more money so that we can get that same borehole project up and running in Kenya, and then we can move on to the next project. But we want to see a borehole in every country. So if you feel like we feel about water, because water is life, and you want to help our daughters and our sons on the continent, please consider making a donation. It does not matter how little or how large. It does not matter if you give every week, if you give every month, if you give once a year, but please consider making a donation to AfricaOnlineTV.org towards the borehole project. All donations go towards the project itself. There are no administrative fees. None of us are jetting off to Sierra Leone for the ribbon cutting on Africa Online's dime. If you're going, you'll be going on your own dime, but every dime that we raise goes towards the borehole project. And we want you to consider making a donation towards that project. In addition to our borehole project, it is coming up with the quickness. I mean, we're talking about less than 2 weeks.
Yes.
Our sister organization, Africa's Brain Bank, will be hosting its 3rd annual summit, academic summit, and gala in the beautiful city of ATL, what they call Hot Atlanta. We're going jetting off down to Atlanta at the beautiful Marriott Airport Hotel, where we will have an academic symposium. There's going to be a red carpet time, and then there's going to be dinner and gala and fundraising. We want you to get your ticket. You can go to africasbrainbank.org, or you can go to africaonlinetv.org, buy your ticket, make your reservations for the hotel. It is October 8th through the 9th. That's Saturday and Sunday. You need to be getting in there by Friday so that you can be there on time for what is going to be happening on Saturday morning. Don't delay. There is still time. There will be no tickets bought at the door. Don't say I got blessed with an airline ticket, an airline ticket, and I just thought I'd jump down here and come and join you. There will be no tickets at the door. We need you to get them ahead of time so that we can do an adequate count. We don't want to have food prepared for 150 people and then 300 show up. Amen.
That's right.
Get your tickets, get your airline tickets, come down to Atlanta and celebrate with us as we raise money to help our brothers and sisters on the continent, and as Africa's Brain Bank raises money for our STEM programs for youth. Brother Niasan, thank you for listening, and Niasan will now give the interpretation to all of our French-speaking listeners.
Well, thank you very much. It's not really the interpretation, it's just what I hear and what I understand by what it is. En tout cas, merci beaucoup d'être avec nous ce soir, cet après-midi, cette journée. Ça dépend de votre zone, de votre temps sur le log. En tout cas, Africa Online Media Corporation a commencé il y a 2 ans déjà de creuser de plus d'eau potable dans les pays, dans les divers pays africains, dont il y en a 55. On a commencé au Sierra Leone. La coupure de ruban était la semaine dernière. Nous allons vous donner les détails prochainement, mais on vous prie, nous vous prions de bien vouloir mettre un peu de sous à côté pour donner Africa Online Media Corporation pour qu'on continue cette initiative de creuser de puits d'eau potable dans les centres de santé développés dans les divers pays africains. Il y en a 55. On a commencé, comme je viens de le dire, au Sierra Leone. Le prochain est pour le Kenya. Et nous vous prions de ne pas hésiter de nous donner un peu de sous pour qu'on continue à creuser des puits d'eau potable dans les divers pays africains. Allez sur notre site web www.africaonlinetv.org pour faire votre contribution. Et tout ce que nous donnions sera déductible des impôts. Donc, nous vous prions et n'oubliez pas la semaine, dans 2 semaines exactement, le 8 et le 9 octobre, il y a le Africa Brain Bank, Africa's Brain Bank, il y aura un gala à Atlanta, c'est-à-dire dans l'État de Géorgie. Venez nombreux, venez avec votre petit sou, venez avec votre enthousiasme, contribuer pour que ce que Africa Online Media Corporation fait sera répercuté avec notre consoeur qui s'appelle Africa's Brain Bank. Nous vous remercions et nous vous prions de rester fidèles à Africa Online Media Corporation. Over to you, Reverend Pam. I think you indicated your intention to ask
thank
a
you.
question.
Ambassador Lisa, we don't want them to, it's not save the date anymore. The date is around the corner. They need to buy their tickets and sponsors. Please. You know, the date is already around the corner. But Dr. Ellison, you are going to be speaking at the academic symposium on October the 8th. Could you tell us why you accepted to speak, to be on that panel for this year's event with the theme of We Are One?
Yes, I would say first because of relationship. Knowing Kim, a lot of things are driven by relationship. So knowing Kim and Kim recommending me to come and share, I'd have to start there first. Relationship, and then the passion, the fiery passion, volcano-like passion that I have for God's people to be healthy. His way, not alleviating the fact that some people need, you got to get what you got to get to stay alive, but the passion to help people be more in control of their health.
Okay, so if somebody is sitting on the fence trying to decide whether to buy their tickets or not, remember, it's not just the academic symposium. We have the summit in the evening. We have a gala. We have a fundraiser. We have awards. What would you tell that person in Atlanta who has not bought a ticket yet? Why should they come to this event?
Oh, wow. I mean, nothing gets better. Nothing changes until you change your thoughts.
Yes.
Until you change your mind. So you've got to get some information that maybe you haven't had before.
Yes.
That help better your life, and not only your life, but how what you get can help better other people's world. And that is one of the keys to health too. Thinking outside the box, helping somebody else's world to get better.
Yeah, thank you so much. And on behalf of Africa Online Media Corporation, I want to thank you for spending your Sunday with us. And on behalf of Africa's Brain Bank, I want to thank you for accepting to be on our panel during the academic symposium. And I want to urge every person of African descent, talk to somebody that you know about this event. It's a must attend. The gate fee of $125 barely covers the breakfast and dinner. We are going to have an elaborate event. The dinner itself is a 3 and 3, 6.5, 7-course meal. I mean, and just an opportunity to get to meet each other, to get to know each other, to get to collaborate to develop and serve our people and our community. So I encourage everybody to come. And for those businesses that are out there, you need to support this event with sponsorships. And we have brothers and sisters. I tell people all the time, 10 people can contribute $250 each and buy a sponsorship package so they can attend the Billionaire Breakfast Brunch on Sunday morning. But what you are hearing from Dr. Ellison today is just an appetizer. You're going to get the main course on October the 8th at the Atlanta Airport Marriott. Ania, so over to you.
Thank you very much. And before we went on the break and the anthem and the announcements, I invited Dr. Ellison to recommend one of his books, because he writes a lot of books, or he has written a lot of books. Tell us which is the one we must read before we stop eating or before we start eating the right way.
Well, I would say go to my latest book, and it's on my website, The 7-Day Meal Plan. The 7-Day Meal Plan. And it's on my website at calvinellison.org. CalvinEllison. Again, CalvinEllison.org. I would go there because I've done so many seminars and people kept asking me, when are you going to put the meal plan? Give me, because I used to have to take some of my people to the grocery store after a seminar.
Dr. Ellison, sorry to interrupt you, please. Can you type your website on the chat box? That's my mistake. I should have asked you to do that. Please type your website and any other information you want to type. It will stay with this broadcast forever. Please type it on the website.
It's up there.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. And that being said, eat, drink a lot of water,
Drink
pray.
water.
So yeah, drink water, plenty of water, eat, drink plenty of water. I don't know if you said that, but pray. So, Dr. Ellison, what happened? That man deviated from the recommendation in the Garden of Eden. Eat of the fruit of every tree in this garden, except that one in the middle. But we deviated and started fabricating things. What happened?
Well, we figured that we were wiser than our creator. And we didn't have to keep him, you know, as Romans says, they didn't like to entertain God in their knowledge. We felt like, well, I am as wise as the creator, so I'll go utilize my own wisdom. You know how children tend to want to get off at a certain age, you know, when they're 7 or in their teens, they think they know more than dad and mom. Get into their 20s, they find out, well, maybe mom and dad did have a little sense. Get into their 30s and their 40s, find out that dad and mom were brilliant. But when they hit those teen years, it's like, what do I need with dad and mom when my peers are saying this and our hormones are saying that? I think I'll just go off of my own wisdom. So I believe that that's one of the things that happened. Well, hey, I'm created in God's image. I'll just use my own wisdom. I had that attitude before I left home. That when I get out on my own, I'm just going to eat all the donuts and drink all the sodas that I want. I had no idea I was about to plunge myself into nutritional lawlessness.
Wow.
So
Unfortunately, we've been trying to get Ms. Gwanfobe on the program. I don't know if she's muted now. I mean, if she's unmuted now, so to be able to give us her take on the discussion. Hello, Ms. Gwanfobe. Are you with us at this time? If not, we'll just turn to another person on the show. Okay, there she comes. Yes, we're talking fighting for your health or for fighting for your health or fighting for your food. I don't remember how we phrased it, but tell us your take on this topic. Uh-oh, did we lose her again? She unmuted momentarily. Yeah, go ahead, please. Still muted. Uh-oh. The Zoom is misbehaving as it has since the whole morning or since the whole afternoon, since the whole day. Okay, you can go ahead now. Yeah, uh-oh, wow.
Muted again, God.
It keeps muting.
Speak now, I think we can hear you.
Okay, I have been listening. It is so wonderful. I mean, Dr. Allison, it is both. Can you say that? Can you ask the question again? I lost my track.
No, we're just talking about eating right and living well. So is it fighting for health or fighting for medicine to keep the illness away?
I think it is looking for medicine to keep the illness away. And doctor has already said it so well. It is eating well and eating well and eating natural and taking care of the temple that you have.
That's right. So you grew up in Cameroon, and you know that we cannot do away with our fufukan, we cannot do away without our plantains. So what special foods would you recommend to the typical Cameroonian or the typical African, because we are having this genetically imported stuff that they are forcing virtually on us?
No, I gotta inject. I gotta say, plantain is one of my favorite.
You hate them?
Oh, I love plantain.
Oh, you love plantains. Sorry.
Yes.
We're gonna have plantains
Thank you.
on October the 8th.
Yes, yes.
I love
Okay.
plantain.
Okay, can I speak now? You don't do
Sure,
away
sure.
with
Go
either
ahead. Go ahead.
you don't do away with either your plantain or your fufu corn. You just eat the one that is grown from the local,
Yeah.
not the one that is imported. And you just eat in a good quantity, not overeating it. And you eat them with vegetables, as much vegetable as you can, because
Yeah.
we have a lot of vegetables back home. Don't do away with them. Eat them. Don't eat the imported corn. Don't eat your fufu corn from imported corn. Eat your fufu from the corn that is grown back home. No contamination. Eat your plantain. Eat them with a lot of vegetables, but eat a good portion, small portion of the plantain and the fufu, and more portion of the vegetables that you eat with them.
Thank you very much. And back to Dr. Ellison. I know you like plantains. I'm very happy to know that, because it's something that we grow in the backyard. It is something we grow on the farms. It is everywhere in Africa. I mean, in most the tropical African countries, especially in Cameroon, we have plantains all over the place. So I like it, the idea that you like them, and I like them too. So what else do you have to recommend to you and I and those listening to us at this time?
What is it I recommend?
Yes, that we should eat.
Well, I'd like to say on a regular basis, not with perfection, I would recommend, because you got different foods in different countries, but as a rule of thumb, I try to tell people go 50-50. 50 cooked, 50 raw for optimum health. Be careful about food, all of your food cooked to pieces. You take a carrot, pull it out of the garden, stick it in boiling water, leave it in there for 5-10 minutes, put it back in the garden, it's not going to live. Why? Because we probably cooked the life out of it. So I try to give a rule of thumb as much as possible. So get those cucumbers and those tomatoes and what have you. Get as much raw food in the diet as possible. I have a raw drink now because I have my healthcare system, my best healthcare system, as I call it, is a blender. And I blend parsley, I blend kale, spinach, cucumber, along with a few nuts and a date, and maybe a half a banana. Oh my God, that's a king's meal to me.
Wow.
And so, Brother Rollo, that's a king's meal. That's my Popeye food. Y'all remember Popeye? American Popeye. Yeah, that's my Popeye. I'm ready to go and do that 500 push-ups in one day because food in its best state is raw. There were no microwave. There were no stoves in the Garden of Eden. Am I saying not cook the food? No, by no means. And there definitely were no microwaves in the Garden of Eden. I'll leave that alone. We'll maybe talk more about that later on. Plenty of raw food in the diet.
Thank you. Yes. And at this point, we're going to take a round of the table. Please just summarize your thoughts in one big sentence or something you want to tell your next door neighbor to do or not to do about fighting for their health, promoting their health, and living healthy lives. So I'm going to start here with Brother Ronald, your last word on the show.
I just want to thank Dr. Ellison for all the information that he gave us, because it's very helpful for me. And I will share it with my family.
Good. Thank you. Sister Ruth, I turn to you next.
Alrighty, I'm gonna try to do this in one big old sentence. Thank you so much, Dr. Ellison, for what you do for the body of Christ and for mankind in general. My round of the table, last word is this: your body is a very clear communicator. Please listen to your body.
Wow.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to Sister Philomena, please, your last word on the show. unmute and have your last word. Failing which, I will, okay, there she comes. Yes, your last word, please.
Mine. I really, it's a good thing to take good care of your body and also know what is good care.
Okay, thank you very much. First priority insurance, please. Can the speaker come on mute and have her last word? First priority insurance, please. Your last word. Okay, there she comes.
Yes, I am sorry. I'm here. I was driving, so I had to pull over.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you look, no problem whatsoever, dear. I just simply wanted to say thank you for Dr. Ellison for all that you do and for all that you continue to do. And I also want to say thank you to Reverend Pam, because when I said that she has just been an unbelievable blessing from the moment that I met her, and just simply for you being a servant leader, like I'm just so excited about what God is going to do for you and the way that you're going to bless the city of Atlanta. So I'm just really, really super excited to be a part of this phone call. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, a part of this Zoom, and I'm looking forward to joining again in the future. Thank you very much. It'd be blessed and amazing.
We look forward to having you back again some other day. Thank you very much, Sister Deborah.
I'd like to thank the doctors for all their information and to say that we have to unlearn some of our traditional foods, like for the Southern people with the fried chicken and baked macaroni and cheese and stuff like that. We have to unlearn those foods and become more healthy.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ogoji. I hope they didn't call you into the theater to deliver one of those babies.
Yeah, I'm
Your
here.
last word.
I'm here. Well, I will go on the mind. Our mind
Yes,
is our
please.
biggest weapon. And with our mind, we tell our mind that our body belongs to God, and we eat food to stay healthy, not to kill our body. Our body is not a dumping ground. Don't eat until the food gets to your throat. That's one. So try to eat as much as you can, but not till the food gets to your throat, and then as much vegetable, as much vegetable and fruit, and small amount of carbohydrate and fat.
Thank you very much. Ambassador Lisa.
Thank you, Dr. Ellison, for sharing with us today. I look forward to seeing you in Atlanta, and maybe if I'm a good girl and I pray hard enough, you will bring me one of those shakes so I can have while I'm down there. But listen, God has given us one body. We can transplant hearts, we can transplant lungs, we can transplant kidneys. We cannot transplant the only body that God has given us, not only to house our soul, our body, our mind, and our spirit, but to be in good health. Let's do good by God with the gift that He has given us. Let's do better with that gift so we may give Him that gift back in good health. Thank you so much, Nessa.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ellison. It is now your turn to say your last word.
My last words again is one of the things that I ushered on, I emphasized earlier. Let's go back home to Daddy. Let's go back to the one who created the body. He said, if I acknowledge Him in all of my ways, He's going to help me. He'll help direct my path. He'll help you make that dynamic shake, Prophetess Lisa. Now, the shake you really want to taste is the one I'm getting ready to fix. It tastes like a milkshake, but no other entity can touch what I'm going to get ready to make. And if you're good enough, I may bring just a little bit. God bless you all. Love you all. But now
Thank
the
you
problem
very
will
much.
be,
Thank you very
problem
much.
will be, my brother, if somebody else is around her and see her sipping on it, they're going to want to know, what is that? Now she's got a problem because she can't get it.
I ain't got a problem. They ain't gonna get none.
Okay. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are very grateful for the participation. In spite of all the Zoom problems we're having, we have been able to carry through the journey, and we're at the end of this journey. We look forward to seeing you next week. Please take care and enjoy the rest of the day. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
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 Take care, all.
Take care. Thanks.